So the month of September, you will be feeling how it is the end of a certain time period, end of an era, and the beginning of the new earth. It's just a little bit more subtle than sometimes than we would like to acknowledge. Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new video with me, Shruti Vashist from enlightenmentcourses.com. In this video, I'm going to be bringing you the predictions for the month of September. And these predictions, as always, are for those souls who are on the path of enlightenment, who are on the path of self-mastery and ascension, the ones that are on the ascension timeline, essentially. And what are they going through? What is the highest potential that is landing? So this is your guidance for the month of September for that. So if you'd like to hear that, then stay tuned. Give this video a thumbs up. That's how I get to know what kind of videos you would like to watch from me. And subscribe if you're new here, of course, and check out my personal services through my website, enlightenmentcourses.com. The links will be below this video, and I have all kinds of self-study online courses as well that are honestly quite affordable and super creative. Okay, so what is the month of September looking like for all of us? So usually in my predictions, I have a couple of points, a couple of different points, but this time mainly just one point came through. And what we are going through right now, we're already going through it, is these moments of, how do I explain it? It's kind of like those moments of total surrender when you are letting go of a previous life that you had. So you might be experiencing symptoms, ascension symptoms, like this revisiting your whole life, like you're going back in your memories and somehow those old memories are coming up about what happened in your life, the painful stuff and the stuff that you're grateful for, all of it all at once, and you're visiting these different moments in your life as well, and all the way up to like now, this moment. And then there's this wrapping up process that happens, just like when people describe death, when they have a near-death experience, like they sort of revisit their whole life and the things that they remember about it, the things that hurt them the most, and then they let that go, and then the things that they feel blessed about and all the love that they felt, and they feel that sense of gratefulness. And often you'll cry and you'll experience all kinds of things. So I had, a few days of this basically, and I got more alone time. I got a cold and I got the flu basically, and I was sort of quarantining on our first floor because my uncle lives there, and they were away on vacation, so I was sort of just quarantining there. So I was spending a lot of time by myself, which was great, but I didn't realize that all of this was in there. And as it happens, things happen in divine timing. Things happen for a reason, and of course this was needed. I needed that solo time in order for me to process, in order for me to let go and go through this, these emotions that perhaps wouldn't have fully come out in normal circumstances, because I'm always surrounded by people at work or in my room and at home. But I had this opportunity and this came through, and it was a bit intense for a few days. And then of course, it usually happens this way. So if you're going through it right now, you'll go through a deep release, and the more that you surrender, if you're able to surrender fully and let go of any pain you feel or anything challenging from the past comes up, or there can even be this sense of feeling bleak and like, what is my purpose here, even, like you feel like a loss of purpose at first. And this is that death tunnel, that black tunnel that we go through, these smaller deaths that we go through while we are still alive, but they happen when we're going through a significant change, when like this new life is landing in our life, like this new phase of life. And that's exactly what the guidance is for now, that I got the words that it's the end of a time, an era. It's the end of that, and it's the beginning of the new earth. And of course this is ongoing, so it's not like it's happening just now, but it's sort of, I'm going to explain to you exactly how it's shaping now. And that again is through a personal example. So what was also happening during this time is that I was revisiting those moments, where I used to live in different countries. So I've lived in many different countries my whole life, and when I moved to different countries, there were beautiful experiences, of course, but it was a more solo time most of the time for me. So I would go there and I would have these beautiful adventures and experiences, and there would be places of nature much more than we have here in India, where I live in a city and it's so polluted, and you know, there's just so much density. So there would be some release, reprieve, or whatever the right word is, from that. But at the same time, it would be, I would spend more time by myself. There would be less relationship energy in those countries. But at the same time, you know, there was this sense of this, you can say this angelic self came out more. Like I would have more downloads, or I would have downloads more easily, or so it seemed, that, you know, these more higher light codes, these more angelic light codes, I would feel like the angel that I am, and we all have these aspects of us. I'm not going to go into that in this video, it's a very broad topic, but what you are at a soul level, what you are at a spirit level, your God self, so all of that was playing out because I could feel it in nature, and I could feel like this angel that's just on earth and moving as grace and all of that. And I was just really in my energy, which was beautiful. So I was really feeling this nostalgic energy, you know, missing the times when I would go out into nature and just walk for like 3 hours, and you know, I would never get bored. It would be so amazing. And then I was brought to the more recent years that I've had, where I started living in more denser cities, and you know, life became a bit more fast-paced. I started working again, which I hadn't done for so many years, you know, working for someone else, I'm a teacher. And then I got to see, even though, you know, often I have this, we can have this regret, or we can have this feeling of that, you know, this is not my full potential. I love teaching and it's amazing, but at the same time, what I would rather be teaching full time is spirituality. So there can be this feeling that's there in your heart, right? But everything happens for a reason, and everything takes place at exactly the right time. So then again, this sort of moment of release and having these realizations, I realized that this phase has actually brought me more productivity. It brought me more structure, and not that I didn't have it before at all, but I sort of got to see my own achievements, like when I do well at work and the parents, they praise me, or there's just so many aspects to teaching. You know, when you're teaching a language especially, there's so much creativity involved there. You're teaching not just like things like grammar, you're arranging things. Like part of my work has been to arrange, one of my students had a question about what happens at the grassroots level when it comes to NGOs, non-government organizations, and I brought in a guest speaker for them, so I arranged that. Then also I sang in my school recently, which was really fun because I've learned Western classical, I've learned opera for quite a few years, and then that's something that I, you know, hadn't done in like so long, almost a decade now. And that was brought back because I had the opportunity to sing on stage, and again, you know, that brought up these feelings of, oh, maybe I should start some piano lessons or some other instrument so that I can play for myself and sing, you know, and have more opportunities to do that. So what I'm trying to say is that all of this is happening, you know, what we were in our past, what our life has been more recently. So this more angelic self and this more physical self. And there is no separation at the end of it. So what's happening now is that we're experiencing what the merge is like of my angelic self and my physical self. And when that merge fully happens, there is no separation, and we can live as the angel that is incarnate, but at the same time has a human body, you know, just like when you think about Jesus. It's like, you know, the Christ is incarnate in a physical body. So he is human. And however, it's this angelic, larger than life being. So that merge is sort of happening for us now. So depending on whatever your focus has been ever since you had your awakening, because a lot of people who are watching this channel in this video, you would have had a certain level of awakening within yourself. So whatever you focused on, let's say, you know, you let go of everything, you led this more feminine, open life where it's more about healing and coming into yourself and self-mastery, or your focus has been more sort of making things happen in the physical, you know, succeeding, or your career and children, your marriage, or whatever it is. But basically we don't have to choose one or the other. That's the point. So it's about the perfect merge and what that looks like for you, and it is a very unique blend for each one of us. So what's also been coming through for me is this deep gratefulness and realization that even though I live in a dense city and there's all this smoke and everything, and I do feel that, you know, the purer environment that you live in, it's like this easier access to light codes where you feel the light coming in and there's these more angelic higher codes, etc. But I had this deep realization of how, you know, the events that play out every day, you get guidance through that as well. So you may not be sitting and receiving downloads as such, but you're playing it out because your life is more physical. So when you are involved in something more physical, then how guidance and how the divine plays out through you is more physical as well. And you may or may not realize it always, but it's like it's there. You know, the guidance, the realizations can happen through all of the events that are unfolding around you, because there's more usually there's more activity, there's more events when you're in a busy place, or you're surrounded by more relationships and people, and you're not just by yourself in nature for the most part. So there's advantages and disadvantages to both, but at the same time, this more angelic part of us and physical part of us is merging now. So with all of these opportunities that I'm getting, for example, you know, singing, which was an old thing that I really wanted to do. I wanted to become a singer at one point. That's coming into my teaching, and I have these ideas for how I would want to incorporate creativity into spirituality and maybe have an academy one day, or, you know, these retreats or whatever it is. And sort of that is just coming in on its own because I'm a teacher and I had the opportunity to teach people as well how to sing a little bit, and that was fun and the kids loved it. So that is how your life plays out. It's not always that we sit and download information in a meditation, but, you know, sometimes you're doing stuff, and like I had the opportunity to substitute in a lesson, and the children asked me for to sing with them, and then I taught them singing, and that felt really good. So these small things that happen in your everyday life, depending on how it makes you feel, that is a message for you. And you know, you might feel this loss of self, that I used to feel this more angelic part of me, or now I'm in this more feminine energy, and that structure part of me is gone. I don't feel as successful, as productive, or whatever it is. But all of those elements are inside of you, and if you're ever missing it, you just need to feel that, allow that desire to circulate in the body, and when you're crying or you're releasing, it just goes like what's the word? The old just releases, it creates space for the new to come in, and that blends, and it becomes available to you, whatever that desire is, in a way that you can physically use now. So if it's a quality you desire, like musicality in my case, you know, working with music, maybe I can't go and teach spiritual music as, you know, just right now, but this opportunity came through the place that I work. In a different way than I had thought. And then it brought me these revelations and ideas. And the sense of direction, essentially, is not just about ideas. So I hope this video made sense. To sum it up, in the month of September, what's going to be happening is that this wisdom from your ancestors is going to come through. And your ancestors means that you're it's like your line, that is your soul lineage. So it's not just ancestors meaning the people who lived here before you that are your ancestors, like physically, but your soul ancestors, your spiritual ancestors as well, your soul lineage. So wisdom is coming from them, and part of it might come through meditations and these more lighter moments. Part of it may just come through when you're more busy and you're more active. So whether you're solo, spending time by yourself, going within yourself, going through these processes of death and rebirth, that's great. Or you're busy, you're creating in your life, then things will unfold in such a way which is also revealing your purpose. So all of that is coming together in a beautiful blend for you, and this is how an old life is going away and a new life is subtly coming in, which we don't even realize, because we keep feeling like, where is the new earth? You know, I have all of these ideas, I want to do that, why isn't it possible? Or there's all of these restrictions, blah blah blah. But it's actually here. So if all we have to do is notice it. In what ways? And I hope that through these smaller personal examples that I've given you, it gives you insight into your own life as well, and how magical it is, and how the new earth is being created through you, and essentially what all is happening right now. So the month of September, you will be feeling how it is the end of a certain time period, end of an era, and the beginning of the new earth. It's just a little bit more subtle than sometimes than we would like to acknowledge, essentially. And through all of this, essentially what's happening is that your identity itself is changing, your role in the world is changing. You may or may not realize it because, again, like I said, it's subtle and it's gradual. And there's just, so many aspects to us, these multidimensional aspects to us. And if we just relax and we're calm in the moment, we actually are shown how there's a lot that's always happening and what's actually occurring in a unified way. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you're going through anything like this. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out my personal services. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.